Coming up this Friday, October 17th, the Philippine Philharmonic Orchestra presents its next concert in the classic season entitled Sound Kaleidoscope. The orchestra presents music by Gershwin, Telemann, and Borodin, as well as trumpetist Reyes, and the concert is conducted by Hermenegildo Ranera. The American composer George Gershwin made a short visit to Havana, Cuba, in the early part of 1932, and was clearly inspired by the flair of the music of that region. Just a few months later, one of his triumphant successes was premiered. The Cuban overture, originally entitled Rumba, calls for an eclectic mix of percussive instruments, including claves, maracas, and bongos, among others. You can imagine the wild reception this piece enjoyed from the 18,000 audience members. Yes, 18,000. This was part of an all-Gershwin concert at New York's Lewisohn Stadium. During his time, the German composer Georg Philipp Telemann, surprising as it might seem, was actually far more known than his contemporary Johann Sebastian Bach. Aside from the trumpet concerto in D major, Telemann had concertos for violin, viola, horn, oboe, flute, and even chalumeau, a late Baroque instrument and predecessor to the modern-day clarinet. The trumpet concerto is scored for only trumpet solo, two violins, and basso continuo, but is often played with larger forces. The work is in form of sonata da chiesa with 4 movements, a form favored by a slightly earlier contemporary, Arcangelo Corelli. I'm here with our soloist for Friday, trumpetist Reyes. Romel, so good to have you here.
Nice to meet you, Oli. Nice to meet you.
How long has it been since you left the Philippines?
It was 2 years ago when I came here. It's with the Phil Banda. I played with them. But I left Philippines to study in Belgium. That was it was 1997 when I left for Belgium to study.
And you studied at UST as well?
I studied in UST, yes. Real to mention.
And you're a trumpetist, of course?
Yes, a trumpetist. Proud trumpetist.
What would you say sets the trumpet aside from other instruments, say to somebody who's not accustomed to orchestra performances?
The trumpet is one of the loudest instruments, and so you will hear it immediately. And the trumpet is a very flexible, very versatile instrument. You could play soft, you could play loud. It's the hero of the piece. It could even play some very sad. So it's one of the most flexible and one of the oldest instruments in the orchestra.
One of my favorites.
Yes, thank you very much.
Romel, you're playing the Telemann trumpet concerto with the Philippine Philharmonic on Friday. For audience members, what do you think they can look forward to in this music?
Oh, they will be hearing Telemann's, one of the best work of Telemann, written for the instrument. It was written during the late Baroque period, and it is one of the most difficult Baroque concerto for the trumpet. So they will be hearing a real great work from Telemann.
Very exciting. And you spent some time in Scandinavia now?
Yes, I am based in Sweden. I'm teaching there and freelancing. I'm teaching in an art school there, teaching trumpet and leading the orchestras there, and busy freelancing. Most of them is a wind band and a brass band.
And I'll leave off with one final question. What's your favorite food?
That will be so easy. Pancit Malabon.
And I hear you're from Malabon.
Yes, I'm from Malabon. Raised and born in Malabon. Yes.
Well, Romel, we're looking forward to Friday. An interesting fact about the Russian composer Alexander Borodin is that he was not only composer, but a doctor and a chemist. After Borodin finished the original composition of his Second Symphony, which, by the way, took him 7 years intermittently to finish, his friend Franz Liszt told him, "Heaven forbid, do not touch it, alter nothing. Your modulations are neither extravagant nor faulty. Your artistic instinct is such that you need not fear to be original." Said Sir Henry Hadow of Borodin's legacy, "No musician has ever claimed immortality with so slender an offering. Yet if there be immortalities in music, his claim is incontestable." I have here Hermi Ranera, who's conducting the concert this Friday at the Cultural Center. Hermi, very nice to see you. You've worked with the trumpetist before, Romel Reyes. What would you say excites you perhaps about doing this collaboration on Telemann this time?
Romel Reyes was my student. He was my principal trumpet of the USA Symphony Orchestra. And so this is a kind of reunion between Romel and I. I have noticed his improvement the last time he came. So I was really happy and excited to work with him, this time with the PPO.
Oh, sure.
It's going to be exciting.
It's been a while since he's performed here as well,
Yeah,
no? Yeah, a couple of years. Yeah. You're opening the concert with the Cuban Overture of George Gershwin, a really fun piece.
Yes.
And obviously it's infused with some fun Caribbean rhythm and flair and some extra percussion instruments. What would you say, aside from that, excites you the most about this piece?
Well, it's not only Latin flavor, you know. I kind of like the middle section. An ordinary listener will not expect the middle section of the Cuban because it's different.
A bit more mellow.
Yeah, mellow and featuring woodwind instruments, and then it goes back to the Latin. So, I mean, for a change, it's. I feel that it's nice to open the concert with that kind of overture.
Oh, it sure is exciting. And I see there's a lot of dance motif going through a lot of the music, the Gershwin, and also the Borodin. You're doing the Borodin Second Symphony.
Yes.
And
Borodin is one of the Borodin's famous works. I have conducted the Philometrian dances together with the USD choirs, but this one is also exciting because especially the middle, the curso, the second movement, and then the slow third movement featuring the English horn and the clarinets.
yes, it's very beautiful music. And as we know, the first notes of the first movement.
So I understand it was engraved.
Right,
somewhere,
right.
somewhere.
And so I think it's kind of like Beethoven's Fifth in a way, right?
Yes,
Where
right, yeah.
those notes you know right away.
Right away, yeah. A trademark of Borodin.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. Well, we're very excited to have this concert on Friday.
Me
And
too, very excited.
looking forward. So I hope you join us this Friday, October 17th at the Cultural Center of the Philippines Main Theater for the next concert by the Philippine Philharmonic Orchestra.